Hi, I'm Monica Weitzel, the host of Community Hotline. Each week we highlight local nonprofit organizations. Tonight we'll start out talking with the Gresham Center for the Arts Foundation. This segment features the next guest on their third Thursday series, Whitebird. This company is responsible for bringing the best of dance to Portland. And following Whitebird, we'll be visiting with the Friends of Multnomah County Library. You can find out how to prepare for a summer of reading by stocking up at this month's used book sale. And finally, we will chat with Stephanie from Old McDonald's Farm Incorporated. How many places offer kids the chance to learn about animals, agriculture, and more in a fun, hands-on setting? You'll find out right here on Community Hotline, so stick around. We'll be right back. Hi, and welcome to Community Hotline. My name is Monica Weitzel. We're here in Gresham at MetroEast Community Media. We're going to have a full show tonight. I want to start off with, and please don't be mad at me, crew in there, but I want to say hello to my brand new grandchild. Ava Gabriella was born 2 days ago, and I'm pretty excited about that, so I wanted to welcome her to the world and to Community Hotline. So tonight we're going to start out with the Center for the Arts Foundation. Sue O'Halloran, you are the president of the Center for the Arts, and I am so glad to have you back here.
Well, thank you, Monica. Yeah. I'm always pleased to come and visit with you, too.
Good.
And congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah. I couldn't help myself.
Right.
So you've been presenting the third Thursday series, and you have the very last episode or segment of it coming up.
Yes.
And it's going to be Whitebird.
It is, and so we're really excited about that. We've had authors and sculptors and all kinds of interesting people. So this time we're looking at talking about dance. So we've invited Paul King and Walter Jaffe, and these two men co-founded about 17 years ago Whitebird. And I think you're familiar with Whitebird, are you not?
Yes, I have. I've been to several of their performances, or performances brought here by Whitebird. And they've been around, for 17 years. That's a long time.
It is a long time. So two very interesting men. So they're going to be telling us stories about some of the performances and actually what really does it take to bring these kinds of theater groups or dance groups to town. And our goal is eventually, of course, to have them come here to our East County area.
That would be wonderful.
So we'll be learning from them. But they, excuse me, they came from New York. Originally, 17 years ago, and came out here to find that there wasn't a lot going on in dance. So
they decided to fill that little niche there.
That niche and that gap.
Yeah. Well, I know that they brought just hundreds of performances here to Portland, and for those who don't, who may have gone to some of the performances but don't know much about the background of Whitebird, this is a chance, the third Thursday series is a chance for people to come and actually talk up close and personal and hear from the people who founded it.
Right.
Get kind of behind the scenes stories.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, which is what Third Thursdays is kind of all about.
It is. It's learning about creativity and actually learning about and talking with people who make things happen in the world of arts. So we thought nobody better than two men who saw that there was something missing in their city and made it happen. And as you know, you've seen some of the dance troupes that they brought to town. So they bring in the very best of the best.
They do. I saw two performances last year. The first one I saw was a Ballet Hispanico from New York City. And they were wonderful, and it was very special for me and my family because my my daughter's best friend, Jessica. That's a picture of her right there, Jessica Wyatt. She is with Ballet Hispanico. She was my daughter's maid of honor in her wedding this year, and she had had one of the lead performances that night, and we had a whole row filled up with my family to see her. But it was a sellout performance, and it was wonderful. It was energetic, and it was vibrant, and it was really, really special. And what I didn't realize until they came there and talked with Jessica was to find out that they do much more than just bring dance performances here. They actually do a lot of community outreach.
They do. They bring a lot of dance into the schools in the Portland Public School District. And so one of the things that we hope to learn from them is how they do that, because it's something we'd like to do. Here, you know, we have Right Brain that is now in the Gresham Barlow, district. And so something that we'd like to maybe see if we can help bring that to our school district out here. So a lot to learn from these two very interesting men. And I think it'll be fun because they'll have probably some pretty good stories to tell as well.
I bet they do. You know, being in the arts and the performing arts, you know, I bet they have some great behind-the-scenes stories. They not only, I understand, they bring performers here. They do a lot of community outreach and bring dance to the schools, to kids who maybe never would have had a chance to see a professional dance performance. But they also commission works, I understand?
Yes, they do. And so they bring interesting type of dance that we wouldn't ordinarily see in a tour group coming out here. So by using some of their funds in commissioning works, that gives an opportunity for perhaps an emerging or an up and coming company to actually come and bring something new to the table.
Yeah,
yes,
that's great.
is.
Yeah, they have local companies, regional companies, national and international.
Yes, they do. So interesting what's coming up in the next week or so. I think it's around about April 21st, and it's fun. You can find them easily at whitebird.org and get info. But they're bringing the folks from Harlem. So
the dance theater of Harlem.
Yes,
that would be very exciting. I would love to see that.
It's not been here for many a year. And then the very end of the month, they're bringing tap. So you can to jazz and blues.
Oh, fun. That'd be a blast.
Yes, that will be a blast. Yeah. So we encourage people, you know, to actually check them out, but also come and just meet these really totally interesting men who created something from basically nothing, from rarely that we ever have these coming into our area. And now there's one every other week or so. So they're very busy men.
I'm sure they are. Explain to our viewers who may not have heard of or attended any Third Thursdays events exactly what people can expect when they go there.
Yes, we should back up and talk about what's going on here locally. So Third Thursday Studios is an opportunity, the third Thursday of each of the months in October and November, and then again after the first of the year, going through February, March, and April. And so we use the Gresham Historical Society Museum. They're at 410 North Main. Wonderful building. The acoustics and just the ambiance there.
It's an intimate setting.
It's an intimate setting. It lends itself to an evening of what I would say is interesting conversation, because you get to interact with these very talented
They're not
people.
up here and you're out there. You're right there with them.
Right. Yeah. So doors open up at 6:30 on Thursday evening. So Paul King and Walter Jaffe, April 16th is the date. And doors open at 6:30, and there's always some really nice wine and some hors d'oeuvres, and you get to have an opportunity to just chat with the gentleman before the actual speaking engagement, and then it's interactive with questions and answers as well. So it makes for a really, as you said, an intimate evening. And you can just purchase tickets at the door. You can go to our website, and you can get them, you know, at a website as well. but it's easy to just drop in at the last minute
Right.
without planning ahead of time. We welcome everybody.
Yeah, I attended Will Horniak, storyteller.
Yes.
I attended his performance earlier this season, and it was so much fun. I
Yeah.
really, really enjoyed it, and just being able to talk with him, and he's so willing to answer questions and to share his stories, and it just made it was a whole different kind of experience, and it's not one that many people get a chance to experience.
And
so.
that's part of what the Third Thursday Studios has been about, is really bringing people that you wouldn't ordinarily had the opportunity to meet. And also that opportunity to see how people think creatively, and how do they actually make action happen? How do they make?
Right.
How do they actually make it?
How to come up
in
with
that,
those ideas.
Yes.
Yeah.
It made me think particularly of Bob Mike Surrey, the sculptor that we had.
He had some
And
interesting work.
oh my goodness, yes, very creative, using heavy metals. So, you and I wouldn't think about how you would use steel in the form of art, but those are the kinds of things, particularly for people who maybe have an interest even for themselves in, for instance, dance. If we had the opportunity here with even some of our dance studios here, how do they go about doing something on a little larger stage?
So it might be a good opportunity for those people to ask and
To
get maybe a
learn.
little inside inside knowledge on how to promote themselves or to
Right.
move up a couple notches in
Right.
the dance community.
Yeah.
It's pretty exciting stuff. Good.
It is. So, and the other thing that I think is engaging is many people don't really come into the Historical Society Museum. And so we do a little extra exposure of what's
and
in
it's
their
fun.
exhibits,
You can kind
change,
of
and
you can kind of wander around and check out the
Yes.
this. So come a little early. What time do you say the doors open?
doors open at 6:30.
Okay.
The performance is at 7.
You have a
And
glass of wine and
generally
go.
have a glass of wine, and
The food was good too. I remember that.
yes,
Was
yes.
good.
We have really somebody who's very talented, kind of an up and coming culinary artist. So she does some interesting things. And then towards the end of the evening, there's an opportunity then to ask specific questions and interact again with our guest speakers. So
good stuff.
But evening ends around about 8 o'clock, so you can get home early
Gotta get home
if
in
you
time.
need
Good
to.
deal. Good deal.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Sue. I appreciate you coming and talking to us about the Center for the Arts Foundation, and then also about specifically the Third
And
Thursdays.
so I just want to make sure I tell you too, and our audience, that Music Mondays, this will be our
Summer again.
6th summer of doing Music Mondays. So
And does that
those
start in
are
June?
In July.
July,
So
okay.
every Monday in July and August, those are free concerts over on the Arts Plaza
Been to
in
many of those,
downtown
yes.
Gresham.
They're
So
great fun.
we want to make sure that people know, we're trying to present things from the arts year round.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll be moving on into summer things.
And if it's really, really hot, don't worry. There's fountains there coming up
That's
out of the
right.
ground, and
There are.
and
And
kids and
wonderful
adults alike
picnic
are in there.
grass area.
Yeah,
So-
it's a great location
Yes.
for a
So
summer
thank
picnic.
you
Listen,
for
it's
letting
amazing.
me remind everybody about
You
that
bet,
as well.
you bet. Okay. Well, thanks so much. And I hope you enjoyed hearing about Whitebird and the Center for the Arts and their Third Thursday series. Don't go away. We'll be back with more of Community Hotline.
Coming here to shoot my documentary was more than I ever would have dreamed of doing.
This is a community media station.
It was phenomenal.
Ready, camera, one.
What is it about this place that makes so many different people come together?
Ready, camera, two.
Very professional, experienced people.
You can use these industry standard pieces of equipment.
Ready, camera, three. Take three.
You don't have to be rich to do this.
Open people's eyes to something they've never even thought of before.
Cool stuff happens. It becomes this community.
That's going to really change who's telling the stories and who's controlling the messaging.